One of the most valuable things you can do in marketing is be realistic about what you're able to achieve with your current level of resource. Now, by resource, I mean both financial resource and also time, and even knowledge to an extent. What skill sets have you got? Now, think about fixing your car, right? Let's say your car needs its cam belt changed, or timing belt. So you can probably learn how to do that yourself. Even on modern cars, if you jump on YouTube, there's bound to be a tutorial as to how you can go and change the cam belt in your car if it needs doing. You can go and buy the tools from Super Cheap Auto or Repco or Trade Me or something like that, and then you can actually install the new part. You can get everything running nicely, and in the end you can probably do it and save yourself some money off the cost of going to a mechanic. But there's a hidden cost. And that hidden cost is how much time, how much stress, and how much hassle is that actually going to cost you to do it yourself, unless you are really inclined and capable in working on cars. Certainly if I look at myself, I'm not particularly practical with vehicles. I know how to turn them on and put some petrol in the tank, and that's about it. And so basically, I could probably learn how to do the cam belt, but it's never going to be something that's particularly high in terms of ROI for me. And exactly the same applies for marketing. I see a lot of businesses come unstuck because what they do is have this attitude of we want to do it all ourselves. Now, I'm not opposed to businesses doing marketing themselves. In fact, it's something I encourage my clients to do. It's something I try to encourage business owners who I'm not working with to do through the videos and tutorial content I create. Give you some ownership and some control over your marketing. But you need to be realistic. There are going to be things that you cannot do yourself because you don't have the time or the skill set to do it. And there are also going to be things you just cannot do. Your business may not be able to commit. So a classic example is a small business trying to go completely overboard with something like marketing automation. You might have a very small business that just doesn't justify going with a highly complex platform or system. So maybe you just need something simpler to start with, and as your business grows, you can scale over time. Equally, it comes down to things like managing paid advertising campaigns. So I worked with a client or a business not too long ago who wanted someone to come along and identify what they were doing wrong with their Google Ads advertising in order to help them identify cost savings and efficiency gains and all those kinds of things. So I did that, and I went back to the client and said, look, here's what you can do. Here's how much time it would take for myself or someone with a similar skill set to do it. And here's really what I think you'd get out of it if you actually implemented these recommendations properly. And they were insistent that they were going to implement them in-house. Several months down the line, 4 or 5 months down the line, I check in with them. Hey, how'd you get on with doing those implementations? Turns out they simply didn't have the time or even the skill set to do it. It had got away on them. And in that period of time, that 4 or 5 months, they'd been wasting a substantial portion of their budget each month, and they'd actually spent and wasted ad spend far more than it would have cost for me or for any similarly qualified expert, whether it was an agency or a freelancer, to actually go in and fix up their problems and improve what they were doing. So just by being unrealistic with the resourcing, that business has cost themselves literally thousands and thousands of dollars, because of course that's not just the wasted spend, it's also the potential lost business, the lost revenue that could have come from having a better optimized advertising campaign as well. The money that was wasted each month on attracting irrelevant clicks, what would that have done in terms of quality leads and inquiries and sales had it been redeployed strategically elsewhere to more sort of fruitful pastures, as it were? And so basically being unrealistic in what you're able to achieve is costing your business money, it's costing your business effort, it's costing your business time, and you really do need to consider this. I think it's something that a lot of business owners, it's a hard thing to get your head around because people want to do it themselves to save money, to learn a new skill, all those kinds of things. And I think that's actually a really aspirational goal. But sometimes you just have to say, no, it's not worth me doing it. I'm better to bring on a professional. And that's not necessarily a pitch for my services. It is to an extent. But there are also loads of other very qualified, very talented people doing all sorts of different things in the marketing space. And so it's as much a pitch for them as it is a pitch for myself. But beyond the pitch, it's way more about actually making your business successful. If you're going to try and do something but you can't commit to doing it, you'll never get it done, and then you'll never reap the rewards from it. So be realistic in what you can achieve. don't assume that, for example, you can take over all of the management of every little aspect of your digital marketing for your business. If you're completely tapped out, running the shop, organizing inventory, dealing with customers, all those kinds of things. Truth is that marketing, being in some respects a secondary function to the sort of day-to-day running of many businesses, it falls lower down the pecking order of importance compared to having stock or dealing with customer inquiries, all those kinds of things. Marketing can fall by the wayside, and when it falls by the wayside, you fall behind. It's a little bit like running a race, and everyone else is running at a certain pace and you're getting slower lap after lap. It becomes harder and harder to catch up, and eventually you get to a point where you just cannot catch up. So, as I said at the start, be realistic in what you can achieve. Now, what the definition of realistic is going to vary substantially depending on exactly what your industry is, what you're selling, what you're doing, what your marketing budgets are, all those kinds of things. So if you do need help in identifying what elements of marketing your business can manage in-house with its current level of resourcing, and what might need external resource, or what may even justify bringing on more internal in-house resource, feel free to get in touch with me. You can email me on info@samfrost.co.nz. You can message me on LinkedIn. You can leave a comment, and I will do my best to help you out and give you advice as to what might work and what might be the best path forward. Now, if you've got any questions, as always, you can leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.